Welcome everybody to the TDD weekly report for the week ending December 5th. This is the second part in my tutorial on how to make a pseudo high-def video out of a 640 by 480 video. If you have an older camera or you've recently purchased a camera that produces 640 by 480 and is not able to do widescreen, this way you can make a video that looks widescreen. Now first I'm going to start with one of my 640 by 480 videos. This is from my Sony CyberShot, which I think makes a good enough quality picture. There you can see a motorcycle video of me riding down the road. Now if you notice in this video, a lot of the gauges are showing, and so you want to not necessarily keep that in your video. What you could do is use this and actually crop this part out using the proper software, and then this top part would be your widescreen. Now it's not limited. If you use the right software, you can choose where to crop. You can crop top and bottom, just the top, or even if you wanted to, the sides for some reason. But right now what we're going to do is mostly crop the bottom off, and then we will leave it with a file approximately 640 by 360, which will look widescreen, and if the original is good enough quality, it should come out good quality itself too. And this is the software we're going to be using. It's called Super Video Converter. I'll put a link on either the comments or the description, depending on the website, and tell you where to get Super and download and get the download links. First, when you install it, you'll see it will look like this, and you'll see a setting up here in the top left-hand corner that says Demux Extract Streams. I can barely talk now. What you want to do is you'll see right to the left of it there's two circles. You want to actually check the circle above it. Once you check that, it'll make sense because you will see a drop-down menu with all of your video format choices. You got your AVI, MOV, MPEG, WMV. You're going to choose WMV, and then you're going to go across the top with the default settings. It's going to say WMV9 and WMA3. Just leave those alone. And we're going to drop down to the next section called Video, and in the video you'll see a section called Video Scale Size. We're going to choose 640 by 368, which is very close to 640 by 360, and when we choose that setting, you're going to notice over in the aspect ratio it's automatically going to change to 16 by 9. Your frames per second, I would say put that at 30. If it's not there by default, I think default is 30. Bit rate, it's going to probably default's going to be 768. We're going to up that to 1008 just to give it a few more bits to record. Down in the audio section, the bitrate for the audio is 440. That's way overkill. You want to switch that to 128 in the audio section. Now we're going to go back up into the video section, and way over to the right where it says Options, you're going to see next to the bottom a little C button which says Crop Pad. We're going to open that up. I'll bring it over more to the center of the picture here. And for my cropping options here, you'll see you've got 4 different sets of arrows here. And for cropping options, I'm going to crop 100 pixels off the bottom, and I'm going to crop 20 pixels off of the top here. You do have to turn it on too. There's a little box in the very center, so you click that, it turns cropping on, and then you adjust your settings. So there's going to be no cropping on the sides. There's going to be 20 at the top, which is just a tiny amount, and there's going to be 100 at the bottom. So that should leave us with a ratio of 640 by 360 to get the job done. So now we've adjusted the cropping. Remember too, you can use your artistic ability and use cropping and padding, and it'll turn out all kinds of weird ways. It'll stretch the video, it'll squash the video, but this is basically just to do this. But don't hesitate to use it for different creative works and stuff like that to do what you want to accomplish with it. So then we drag and drop the file, the original movie file, into your file box down at the bottom there for jobs to do, and then you click encode, and we encode the video. Now for a 3.5 minute video, it's going to say simple profile as a default. Just go ahead and click OK. All the defaults on this pretty much will work for you. And it's going to take, for a 3.5 minute video, it's going to take approximately 7 minutes to encode. So we're going to cancel this one because I already did this before the video, so you guys don't have to sit through the entire encoding process. And then this is the finished video. It's the same identical video, but the bottom is cropped out of it. I'll jump ahead here, and you will see, you see a little bit of the gauges in here, but not as much. There's no reason really to show that part in the bottom. It doesn't really add anything to the video itself. So basically now you're seeing a wide screen, and I'll make it even larger so you can see it's got basically the 16:9 aspect ratio, and the picture actually looks pretty darn good. You can actually read the signs. You can even read the smaller signs. You may not see it because I'm taking a screenshot of a screen, but it actually does look pretty decent quality. Now your eyes are going to be the final judge of this as to whether the quality is sufficient or not for your purposes. But that's basically the way you start. Now if you have any questions, you're very welcome to leave the questions in the comment or email me with any questions you have about using the software. It's not really that difficult to do if you go with mostly the default settings. I found Super to be a pretty good program, and for those of you that really want to be power users, it lets you do all kinds of settings, even settings that don't go with the format. Sometimes when you do go really wild in your settings, as far as stuff the format doesn't allow, you will get errors, but basically most of the time going with your standard formats like MOV, AVI, WMV, if you stay within the choices, you pretty much are not going to have too many errors or anything like that. It's a nice solid program. So anyway, that is my series about taking a 640 by 480 VGA video and making it widescreen aspect ratio so it looks like a pseudo widescreen originally. Take care everybody. I will catch you next week.